Every time I step up in the game, I level up. Everybody's hands go up, and they stay down. Cause all I do is rise, rise. And if you're with me, put your hands to the sky. Yes, the game's a new win. Every new day is where we begin. It's not over till the victory's mine. And all I do is rise every single time. Every new day is where we begin. It's not till the victory's mine. All I do is rise every single time. So to me, with destiny, every new day is where we begin. It's not over till the victory's mine. All I do is rise every single time. Winners keep winning, and all I do is rise. No limits, no boundaries, I'm breaking the chains. Every loss is a lesson, every fall brings a gain. I'm built for this, my spirit is tough. When the road gets hard, I'm still rising. Do is rise, no matter what. Got greatness on my mind, I'm never giving up. And every time I step up in the game, I level up. Everybody's hands go up, and they stay down. Cause all I do is rise, rise. And if you're with me, put your hands to the sky. Rise with me, we're destined to win. Every new day is where we begin. It's not over till the victory's mine. And all I do is rise every single time.
First of all, we want to welcome you to the L.C.A. I am excited on this day, and all I can say is let's get busy as we get into Proverbs 9.
It's a brand new day. Shake off the dust out of your way. You got the power to create. Your dreams ain't got no expiration date. Start with a breath, find your flow. Let go of what you think you know. Inhale the strength, Exhale the fear. Clarity is near, the time is here. Start with.
Well, first of all, we want to welcome everyone to the Life Changing Alliances call that we do each and every morning. Briefly, I'd like to introduce this chapter and its theme to you for Proverbs number 9, illustrating two different paths. I like to say you can go with this or you can go with that. You can go with this or you can go with that. You can go with this or you can go with that. You can go with this. All I can say is wisdom is where it's at. Period. Good morning. Today we're going to explore this chapter to understand how we can apply its teachings to our daily lives. And I just love that. So, guys, get ready because we get ready to get started. And we're going to get started with our first reader, which is going to be, I don't know, but you'll hear about it in a minute. And they're going to go from chapters 9. I don't know what Bible they're going to come from, but they're going to probably tell you. And they're going to go from 1 to 6. Thank you. Bye then. Huh? What? Yeah. Right. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Miss Joyce,
Good morning, Camp.
how are you?
I am good. Hi,
Yay.
Lynn.
She said hello.
Lynn, guess what? Last week I went to visit botanical gardens here in the metro Atlanta area. Well, downtown Atlanta, actually. Being a plant lover, girl, I wanted to snip, snip, snip. But I knew I couldn't afford to go to jail, so I had to leave them alone. Plants were beautiful.
Oh my God.
Girl, I tell you, they were so beautiful. I'm sure they had cameras all over the place, but I mean, plants from all over the world there, all sizes, heights, and varieties, and oh, beautiful.
She said, Lynn said as a little girl, she went to the flower show every year
Uh-huh. Okay.
with her
Okay.
grandma.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Your grandmother was a plant lover too, huh?
She said, oh yeah. So do they still do that? Have you ever been to one of those, Miss Joyce? A flower show in
Well, I
wherever
know
you
in California they have like rose festivals and stuff like that, roses. Um, But as
Mm,
far as I'm not real sure about the flower show. I know
okay.
like a lot of time at what they have like swap meets and different things like that, they'll have like, plants, different types of plants, being sold and at the
Hmm.
fairs and stuff.
Okay. What you
So you
say?
guys have a quiet MLK day?
Amen. Yes, we did.
Yeah.
Didn't? Was it the word? Huh? Oh, at Epcot. At Epcot, they have wonderful festivals and stuff. Miss Lovelace, what's up?
Good morning. I'm good.
You good? Did you hear me calling you yesterday?
What happened? I got my supervisor was calling me, so I had to switch over.
Oh, okay.
I was
Oh,
wondering if you did, so that's what happened.
yeah.
Yeah. I was
Uh,
on the job,
oh, okay,
so
okay.
my supervisor had called.
Oh,
I
Good morning.
apologize. Good
okay.
morning. How are you?
Good morning.
I'm good. I'm
Good
good.
morning.
How's everyone?
Lady Pain, how are
Good morning.
you?
Great morning, everyone.
Good
Hi,
Good
Ray.
morning.
morning.
Hey, D,
Good
what you up to?
morning.
Hi. I'm almost to class, so I'm not going to be able to say anything. However, I did want to jump on here to say
D,
I am enjoying this class. I am enjoying it. I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying it. I feel so excited to get on and listen to this, even more so than I got on to listen to the financial stuff.
How much how much more time
So
do you have left in your class, Ree?
uh next day is my last day.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, I'm coming here on Saturday and Sunday as well. But yeah, I'm really enjoying this. So I've been listening to the Proverbs. I just got finished re-listening to chapter 8 and chapter 9. So I can't wait to hear everybody's perspectives on this chapter this morning. I'm just excited. Thank you.
Great.
See, I
listen
should have
to
let y'all
this
see my
over.
face when I said that. I'm
I
excited.
love it. I love it. I love it. I love
Grand
it.
Rising. Love the energy.
God is at work, Ree.
Oh my
Thank you.
goodness.
Thank you. Thank you.
Man.
Everybody have a great day today. Amazing day today.
You too. Stay
Thank
safe
Wow.
out there.
Wow.
you
Thank
too.
you.
Oh, wow. 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 Wow.
I know I'm late. What chapter are we on now, please? Mr.
Mm.
Motivator. What is the chapter we
Today
reading today?
we're going to be chapter 9.
Thank you.
You're
On
welcome.
the message, right?
On either
Whatever
one,
your
whatever one you
version is.
choose, we're going to read them from when the person, we got different reads. I think that's another thing to, um, one of the, when you get to engage in reading, I know one of the things that really messed me up for, why I didn't read, because first of all, the words were, let me ask somebody, maybe because the word is the word, but at the end of the day, it's like when you looked at the Bible, those words were like big. They look big. Like I didn't even understand most of the words that I tried to get through and everything. I don't know what that was, but
Mm, yeah, the King James version. That's why I
Mhm.
like the New King James version. But I have all the other versions.
Yes, good, good.
So
And
uh,
technology is making it easy today, right?
mhm, 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 mhm.
Absolutely.
But the
God.
other version, they break it down is so interesting. Like,
Mhm.
yeah.
Mm-mm-mm.
I like that there's a choice because you can read in different versions, and one may resonate with you more than the other, or might be a little easier for you to understand or grasp. And
Absolutely.
after a while, you'll be able to go back to maybe a version that really didn't appeal to you. And you'll, because over time, you're going to gain a level of understanding. And when I was younger, I didn't read the King James version, probably for the same reason you did, Kim.
Mm-hmm.
But
Mm-hmm.
now I can go back and read a King
Mm-hmm.
James version, and actually helps me learn because I'm looking at the choice of words and the difference in the words,
Mm.
and you learn what things mean. It just exposes you to the same thought, but at a different era.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I can't remember the version, but the type of version that I say that version is gangster. I would when I remember the version, I would go try and look at my tablet again. I can't remember which version
It's
is that, but
probably
that
the message.
no, I don't think it's. I think it's beginning with a C. Could be the message too, but I didn't really never really read the message. But it's have another one that sounds real gangster. Like I would be cracking up.
Oh, that's why we said the message. Yeah, they little gangster.
Oh my
Yeah,
God.
so maybe it's a message, but I think it's have another version too. Is it a contemporary? Anyway,
Yes, I'm looking now. There's about three that say the contemporary English version. I've never tried them, but I'm gonna
Oh my God.
download one or two now
I
and
think it's
see how
that
they go.
one. It's real gangster.
Oh my
Real,
goodness.
real gangster. I be cracking up. I say, yo,
Oh
mm,
my goodness.
I'm
First and
not familiar
foremost,
with the message version. What is that?
the
The
mess.
message.
You don't know the message?
Oh,
Yo. See, this is the
the
thing.
message is a good version too.
Yeah. The message Bible. In fact,
I'm coming from
That's
King
the
James. I'm
that,
coming from NIV. I'm coming
that,
from other
that
versions. I've
that's the
never heard of
version.
them.
That's the version that Naima reads from.
Okay.
Naima
Yeah,
always
that
reads from
is
the message.
She
Naima's
reads from the
jam,
message.
as the kids
Right.
say.
Yeah, I understand. I'm not familiar with the message version.
Hmm. So you go to your Bible on the computer and download it, and all of them are free to download. So once you get the Bible, you can just download whatever.
Debbie, I listen to the message version per Kemp and Lynn. I listen
So,
to it every day. And I ordered the message version Bible the other day. It should be at my house today.
yay.
Okay. Nice.
Yay!
It
wow.
helped me understand what I was reading better
Mm,
than the King
okay.
James Version.
Yes.
Mm.
Oh,
Okay, is
that's
that a
good.
study version, the message?
The
No,
message,
No,
No.
not
no.
necessarily just a different. It's more modern day. The wording.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah, so
Okay.
it may not say. I'm trying to get a good example. Like you may have read something in the King James version, and it was called something that was in 17th century English that we don't
Right.
really
Right.
speak.
Right. Right.
It'll say it in a way that you can easily relate to it now in this day and age.
Mm,
So no one read the New King James version.
I
Okay,
do. That's what I
okay.
read now.
I
Yeah,
like the
I
New
do.
King James version. It's not complicated like the King James, but yet
Yeah,
still it
I
gives you
like it. And I like
close.
that kind of language. I've come to
Yeah,
enjoy that language. Let me put it that way. In
yeah,
the beginning, though, it was a
yeah,
little more difficult to understand because we didn't speak that way. We
yeah,
also didn't
And the
read that
Messianic.
way.
I've
But
read
after
that.
reading several versions of the Bible and spending time in it, I do currently now read the New King James Version.
right.
But I've had the NIV, I've had several versions over the years um, that I've
yeah.
enjoyed as well.
But the NIV take out a whole chunk of some of the Bible, so I don't really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I know a lot of people read the Amplified too, as well as the NLT.
LT. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes, so many of them
And when
out
you're
there.
studying it, there's also the Concordia, there's,
Yes,
there's
that's
study Bibles that kind of help you
mhm,
kind of understand that language, right? Like I have a study King James Bible. So if I'm studying at home, I will refer to that book and it kind of breaks down the language so that it's easier to understand.
yes.
So there's
Yeah.
so many
And for
ways
me, I
to
don't
get.
like to get too far away from the King James.
King
I'll go
James.
to the new.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
versions of it,
Right.
but I don't like
Mm-hmm.
to stray too far.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Same.
It's what, really the real point of it is for me.
Yeah, me too. But you see, like how we're doing this reading and this studying and this engaging, I think the message is good. But to really study and be personal, I like the New King James. I'm not going too far.
Amen.
Every now and then branch off to different ones, but yeah.
And I'd use the Moody's Bible Institute. They have a Bible commentary.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if y'all
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
see how big this
Yeah,
thing is, but
yeah,
I
right.
read
It's
from here.
heavy.
I read from here and I get another understanding too.
Hey, Tom, how are you, sir?
Fine. Good morning. Good morning,
Mhm.
Good
family.
morning.
Good
How are you?
morning.
Good morning. Miss Terry, you struck a responsive chord there. I had the occasion to visit Moody Bible Institute in Chicago. And
Yes.
yeah, it was a fantastic experience. And
Mhm.
D.L. Moody, right, did great writings. All right. So,
Mm.
so
Mm.
I
yeah,
love this book, Mr. Tom.
you woke me up. Thank you.
Amen. Erica Jones, how are you? And I want to say, most of you may or may not know Miss Lovelace. That is Kezzy's mother, who comes in here quite often. She hasn't been here too much. I mean, but Kezzy, we all know Kezzy. Y'all say
Right.
welcome back, Miss Lovelace. Good to hear you. But
Welcome,
she,
welcome, welcome. We met at
Yes.
the cabin.
oh
Yeah,
yes,
one of the cabin trips. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yes. Debbie is one of our season saints.
Thank thank you. Nice to be back.
glad to have you. Oh my gosh. All right. So, welcome everyone. Briefly, we're going to introduce the chapters at this theme. Proverbs 9. If you would open up the book, your Bibles, it says Proverbs 9. It illustrates two paths: the way of wisdom, which leads to life, and the way of folly, which leads to destruction. So we're going to explore the chapter to understand how we can apply it, teaching our daily lives. Okay. So I want you to go ahead and Miss Lynn, if you could start this off today. No, I want you to start this off today, Miss Joyce. You have yours open, Proverbs 9, 1 through 6. And
Okay.
as they say, wisdom has built our house. She has set up it set in seven pillars. She has prepared its foundation. So, Miss Joyce, if you will.
Your voice went out if you're still speaking.
Are you getting ready to? You might be getting ready to fall out. Go ahead, Miss Joyce. You can start with those
Okay.
first few verses.
Wisdom has built her house. She has hewed out her seven pillars. She has slaughtered her meat. She has mixed her wine. She has also furnished her table. She has sent out her maidens. She cries out from the highest places of the city. Whoever is simple, let him turn in here. As for him who lacks understanding, she says to him, come, eat of my bread and drink of the wine I have mixed. Forsake foolishness and live, and go in the way of understanding. Okay. Kemp, you back?
Did you?
Yes, I'm back. Go
Okay.
ahead, Miss Joyce. Just tell us what you read from that. When you just read that,
Okay.
what did it say to
All
you?
right. And speaking of the of wisdom, the consequences of wisdom and folly, or the simple ones. So if you were to use wisdom,
Hmm.
then you more or less have life. You're able to do things, in advance, prepare, for the day or for the months and time ahead. Whereas with the person that's being foolish, they just kind of, become idle and lazy and not doing the things that they need to do. So I think that's part of what it was saying there.
Yeah.
Um, but when you're foolish, then you have the consequences of death, because you're not doing what you need to be doing. You're following the wrong paths. Um, when you are a foolish person, but they are advising as through wisdom. You're preparing. You have the mind to do the things that you need to be doing. As a wise person. So that
Mm.
kind of. Hmm.
So I have a statement that I have found. I got to get the note out. And it
Hmm.
went like this. Y'all tell me how this sounds to you today. Okay. So I want to kind of like anybody ever seen somebody, it says the choices that you make determines your choice that you live. So your choices is what's determining your choices. But you know what? And I kept saying this, and I'll say it to everybody, what I believe. God doesn't tell you what to do, does he? He does tell you what to do in his way, and he tells you what to do and what not to do. Is that what you're saying right here? So you're saying, listen as wisdom calls out. Wisdom just calls out. Anybody ever seen somebody that looked really young at their age?
Yes.
And what do you say?
Thanks for the
Look like.
compliment.
Yeah.
Thank you for your what do you say? And I know you got, listen, I'm not tricking you up or anything here. Like the guy, the songwriter wrote, y'all keep hearing this. He says, you can go for this or you can go for that. It's up to you. But he
Hmm.
says, guess what? Your choices. I got to find this thing that I wrote it down so you guys can hear it. And I really want you to hear it. But Len, if you will determine your choices. Okay. So, Len, will you go ahead on and read chapters 7 through 12? 7.
Verse,
You
verses.
mean
Yeah,
verses?
verses. I keep on, I'm sorry. Verse 7 through 12.
You're right.
And what Bible will you be reading from this morning?
I don't know. I have such a collection over here.
Mhm.
Let's see, is Naima on the call? No. I can read from the message.
Okay.
Okay. So this is starting with verse 7 through 12. If you reason with an arrogant cynic, you'll get slapped in the face.
Mm.
Confront bad behavior and get kicked in the shins. So don't waste your time on a scoffer. All you'll get for your pains is abuse. But if you correct those who care about life, that's different. They'll love you for it. Save your breath for the wise. They'll be wiser for it. Tell good people what you know. They'll profit from it. Skilled living gets its start in the fear of God. Insight into life from knowing a holy God. It's through me, Lady Wisdom, that your life deepens and the years of your life ripen. Live wisely, and wisdom will permeate your life. Mock life, and life will mock you.
Wow. So I know that didn't even sound right, did it? Did the way she read it? That's from the hood. That was the hood Bible. You understand? That's what Miss Joyce did. She don't deviate over there. You guys, you ain't gonna hang out with those guys over there. But I like this because if you could go to what we just read, and she just said we went through 7 through almost 11, and it
12,
said, or
7 through
12.
12.
Okay. So, for I speak the truth, indeed, and deadest every kind of deception.
What are you reading?
I'm reading Proverbs. I'm sorry, my bad. I apologize.
And what translation are you reading from?
I'm in the NLT. NLT. So you went from 7.
To 12. You pick up at 13.
So it goes like this: anyone who rebukes a mocker,
Mhm.
yep,
Oh, you're
7.
reading 7. Okay.
Yep. So what it say in yours? Anyone what it say in yours?
I changed it to what you had so I could see what you were reading.
Oh, anyone who rebukes a mocker will get an insult in return. So let's break that down. And what did you get out of this when you read it, Deidre Lynn? Anyone who rebukes a mocker will get an insult in return.
It kind of, for some reason, it took me like when you watch a comedy show, or
Hmm.
if you've been to a comedy show and you get a heckler, because that's what a heckler is.
Yes, yes.
And what usually happens when somebody heckles from the audience?
That ain't cool.
Nothing ever good.
No, no, no.
Nothing ever good. So it's like, why would you even address them? That's kind of the understanding I got. And it goes on to say, so don't bother correcting them. They will only hate you. It's like you can't win. Even if you prove somebody right, I mean wrong,
Right.
the is usually the tide shifts in the room, and people still identify with the person who was causing the trouble or the foolish person.
Mhm.
So don't even address that. And it says, instruct the wise, and they will be even wiser. Teach the righteous, and they will learn even more. That's almost like go where you're appreciated.
How does that, how would you say what you're reading applies to life today in relationships, communication,
In relationships.
personal development, what they're saying? So don't bother. Like you, have anybody ever gotten in an argument?
Oh yeah.
Let's talk about that, right? Have you ever gotten into a disagreement? Anybody in here?
Yes, we have.
Yes.
We all have, I'm sure.
Yeah,
We
we
all
all have.
on some level.
So how can this help you in your relationships today if this was you?
Well, a wise person, or a person is considered wise when you you welcome correction. You sometimes, I know for me, I have to say that I don't know it all and I can be wrong. And I'll even listen respectfully to, a differing or someone else's viewpoint, and I take from it what I can. I just don't summarily dismiss it just because it's different from mine.
See, that's one thing where wisdom can really help you there. Like, how many of us think everything? Like, let me ask you this question: have you gotten into a point where you thought you was right and you was getting angry because they didn't agree with you?
I have in the past. I don't do that anymore.
You understand? Like at the end of the day, period. I may not be right. Maybe I'll be like, just shh. What did I say? The best form of communication is what? Listening to understand. And sometimes you just what? What did your mother used to just say? Sometimes it's just good to back off. Am I right? That is a tool that me and Lynn has understood since we've been together. I had one bad apple, and baby, I ain't never do it again. So it works. Am I making sense? I'm not saying that she agreed with everything I'm saying, but guess what? Lynn will tell you. Miss Joyce, talk about this.
Oh, sometimes, you can have personalities that are so strong, no matter what you say, they think they are right.
Mm,
And, so you learn through wisdom, okay, just let the person go on and have their say, and in time, they will hear and realize that, what you said is correct,
mm.
whether they get it from you or from someone else or whatever the case might be. But when a person has already made up their mind about something, that, just let them think they're right, because life will teach them for sure.
Absolutely.
That part.
Mm. Why don't you just come up? Somebody come up here and give me some level. Diane, she's good at it, pretty much. Diane,
Yes, I'm sorry, I'm driving. Yes.
oh, let me ask you a question. Now, I
Mhm.
want you to give me an example of what we're saying here when we start talking about it says anyone who corrects the wicked gets hurt.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So don't,
Um,
yeah, just give us some type of example that you've experienced this in and literally just said, you know what? Okay, go ahead. You're right. Give me one.
I, it's funny because I know the Bible, I mean, the Bible uses the word wicked, and it's a very strong
Mm,
word to use. But I encounter it in relationships all the time, even in my marriage. And not that I'm saying my husband is wicked, but
mm-hmm,
there's some conversations, and I think Dr. Lynn said it well, and even Miss Joyce said it well. There's some things, conversations, that's your silence is wisdom, you know,
mm,
because the person is so strong-headed, and they're so set in what they're saying and what they believe in, that it doesn't even make sense to argue with them, and responding to them creates an argument, and the argument escalates, and one thing leads into another, and before you know it is a big old to do. So I
mm-hmm,
believe that wicked people, there, that term is strong, because that could really lead into a fight. It could lead into death. It could lead into so much stuff when you entertain responding to a wicked person. And on a lower scale, also in relationships, just don't even respond. And I believe that is wisdom in itself, because one thing will lead into another, and it won't be good.
I sure hope you listening.
Mm.
That's all I can say. I hope.
Can I say something,
Yes, please.
please? Well, wicked is a strong word. When you use wisdom, the opposite of wisdom is foolish.
Mm-hmm,
And the Bible says, don't confront bad behavior and get. No, he say, don't waste your time on a
mm-hmm,
foolish person. I say, scoff, I mean foolish person. You will get your part, your pains and abuse, which is really true. So, like, sometimes, a foolish person don't take advice. They think they're always right.
mm,
And they flip the script and act like you is foolish, like you don't know what you're talking about.
mm-hmm.
So it tells you here, but those who care about life or who care about wisdom, that's different. They will love you for it.
Wow.
And I'm experiencing it even not. Well, I experienced it in my relationship before. And Frank, I have a son, no matter how you talk to him, like he don't understand. Like, and he flipped the script on me, like, I'm stupid. But I've given you wisdom for life
Hmm.
in the simple, simple things. And he turn back and he come and say, Mom, I hate to say you said so. Just
Hmm.
listen. Let wisdom follow you. So,
Wow. I love and you know what? It's really easy to love up on people when you follow that wisdom. Let me tell you. Go ahead. Go ahead, Lynn.
So, I've been doing some additional reading, and this kind of takes me to a time being younger. And when I was in school, I used to get bullied a lot.
Mm.
And so I'm gonna use the bullies as the wicked people. But it would be a time that and it would be a time that you would try to reason with them, or a lot of times I got picked on because just because I was maybe the smarter one in class, or I got
Hmm.
straight A's, and so they would pick on me, and I would try to fight back,
Mm.
and what I would do is maybe I would challenge them, or I'd say something smart
Hmm.
out of my mouth.
Mm.
But then what would happen? Then they beat me up anyway. So I still got hurt when I could
Mm.
have just ignored them.
Mm. Mm. Mm.
And it was kind of hard because, being young, you're still learning that whole lesson about turn the other cheek,
Yes.
and I thought about that. And it's like as you grow older, you may be in a situation where you may see some wrongdoing or some wickedness. And if you bring it to light, I think they call these people whistleblowers.
Wow.
And they may come forward and they may point out the wrong or the bad things that are being done, and they still suffer retaliation,
Wow.
right? They suffer retaliation. So it's like if you address these people on their level, they're still going to get back at you.
Wow.
So it's almost like, do you keep quiet about it, or do you
Well,
still bring it to light and chance the bad behavior towards you?
Go
some
ahead.
fights are not worth fighting.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
true.
And it says here, correcting wrongdoing often leads to backlash rather than gratitude from those unwilling to change.
Hmm.
Hmm. Hmm. Wow. All right. I think we've beat that one up a little bit there. um,
The meter ran out.
okay. Folly calls for a hearing. Folly calls for a hearing. Now, this is where Folly also sets herself up for as a woman. Um, why don't you read that for me, Miss Lynn?
Folly calls for a hearing. The woman named Folly is brash. She's ignorant and doesn't know it. She sits in her doorway on the heights overlooking the city. She calls out to men going by who are minding their own business. Come with me, she urges the simple. To those who lack good judgment, she says, stolen water is refreshing. Food eaten in secret tastes the best. But little do they know that the dead are there. Her guests are in the depth of the grave.
Gee, I seen you too. I seen you when you did that.
What?
I seen you like, oh, that expression on your face.
Mm,
Oh my gosh, what did you get out of that one?
sounds kind of final, doesn't
Because the way she said is like this guy said, he says, she says it like this, come here. She hears it simple. She says, listen, those who lack judgment, she says, stolen water is refreshing.
it? And
Food,
food in secret
yeah,
tastes
yeah.
better.
Y'all hear this stuff? All right, go ahead. What are you getting out of this?
Some shady shenanigans.
Shenanigans? Foolery?
Yes.
Oh, God.
But it's like following this wicked woman will lead you to your death. And it's like it's almost like she's preying on people because it says she sits in her doorway and she watches as the men going by, probably saying, mm-hmm, he looked like a good one.
Mm-hmm.
Like him. And that's what it says. She says, come in with me. She urges the simple. So she's not looking for a wise person to take advantage of. She probably knows she can't. So she's looking for the idiot or the simple-minded man.
Mm.
To
Mm-mm-mm.
those who lack good judgment.
Okay.
Okay. And that she knows that she can sway or get them to come to her. And when they do, that means death
So, there's a scripture that says things that seem right to a man lead them to what?
or destruction.
So it says here, give me a time how, and I'm asking this to anybody that's in this room right now. Can you think of a modern example of stolen water that seems appealing but leads to harm? First and foremost, I ain't never heard of no stolen water. I promise you. I'm just being honest with you.
Well, it doesn't actually have to be water that we're talking
Well, what
about.
is that? Stolen. What did you think? Stolen. Oh, that's
It's
stolen.
talking about
What?
it's talking about sex.
Oh, really? Now, see, I ain't know that. Miss Joyce, I seen you unmute yourself. Go ahead. What you think?
It's anything that doesn't belong to you is
Oh,
stolen. And if you're thinking, if you're going the direction that Sam mentioned, that didn't belong to that person. So it's like stolen, in other
yeah,
words, still.
yeah. Like you sneaky,
Right.
sneak,
Uh-huh.
right?
Well, you know how we'll say,
And
why
it,
don't you go get your own stuff? You always wanting to take somebody else's stuff.
Uh-oh.
yeah, as in relationship, if a person is already married, that person is not yours.
Mm,
They belong to each other through their vows. So
wow.
therefore, getting the advice from her, it leads to death, you know, dead on arrival.
Boy.
Miss Joyce used a good example. I mean, if you look at it, even overall, when something is forbidden to you for some reason, it just looks more inviting. Even as a child, do you remember if your mom put something on
Mhm.
the table and said, don't touch this?
Yeah.
Talk to me.
You'd be sitting there and you probably would have walked right past it on the table. But because she said, don't touch this, now you're going to stop and look at it and wonder if I touch it and she don't know. I'm going to just pick it up. And then what happens? And then you maybe drop it and break it. Okay, so now you're going to bring down the wrath because she told you not to touch.
Wow. So Proverbs 9, it gives us two clear choices. Wisdom offers life, growth, and alignment with God's will. And again, none of us feel like we want to read none of this stuff. We literally do not read at any time. So if you really think you want to continue on the right path, you got to understand the path itself. So when you say like in order for you to get along the relationships, and we keep understanding it now, using it as a what? A tool. How many of y'all right now would prefer wisdom to be in your toolbox than a gun? In my mindset, my dad always said to me, you never need a gun. And he says, a lot of people say, well, this is a car carry, whatever. I don't need a gun. Do you understand? Because that day that I had that day, I was driving the cab. And guess what? I'm driving the cab. How many people react in that situation? So here's one for you. The guy came up, he put a gun in my head, and he said, give me all your money. What if I had a gun in the car with me? What, and that's where we talking about this. What if I had the gun? What was the choice?
First, ask questions after.
Yep. And then the thing about it is, if I had the gun, I would have tried to get it. He got me in the bag. I'm done. But as soon as he start walking away, and he got your money you done worked hard for all week, guess what? What's my mindset? Get that gun. Pop a cat. Not a good decision. That's why a lot of stuff that you really look is always being premeditated. Because you bought the gun. If you didn't never had a gun, guess what? He walked away. And at the end of the day, you know what my dad always say? I guarantee you, you'll get that money back. How many of y'all heard turn the other cheek? Period. This or that. Um,
May I say something?
yeah, please talk.
I heard it said earlier. Um, Back in those days,
Mm-hmm.
what that meant is it was talking about believers and the Roman soldiers. The Roman soldiers, there is a law that said that a Roman soldier can tell a citizen to do something and they must do it. For example, if the Roman soldier told a citizen, you need to carry my sword for a mile,
Mm-hmm.
it was either carry the sword or go to jail,
Yep.
signifying that the Roman soldier had authority. What that meant is that instead of carrying it 1 mile, the believer would carry it 2 miles,
Mm.
signifying that I choose to do this. You're not over me,
Yes, yes.
turning the other cheek.
Mm-hmm.
That's what took place back in those days. Today, it means, oh, somebody hit me, I'm going to do kindness. That's not what they were doing. They were just signifying that you're forcing me to do this. That's okay. The next mile, I choose to do this. We're equal. It said that when they slapped you on the left cheek, that was degrading. So he said, no, no, no. I'm equal citizen with you. Let me turn my right cheek because you slap the people that are equal to you on the right cheek. So let me turn the other cheek. So you slap me on that cheek. We're equals. To slap each other, to slap the other person on their left cheek was degrading.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Mm-hmm.
what that meant. Turn the other cheek. So if you stole from me, that's okay. You stole from this end. I'll turn the other cheek, steal this one. And we're equals.
Do, do anybody hear wisdom there?
That's more retaliation, showing that
Mm-hmm.
as a believer,
Mm-hmm.
you're stronger. You're equal to them. You're not degrade. You're not a lower end citizen.
I cannot listen. Listen, listen. When you hear what he is saying, remember that we've been watching this thing called The Chosen. And I can remember when Jesus was walking and they made, those guys, what was it?
It
Lynn,
was it was literally the example of what Sam just
Sam.
said. And
Yes.
they carried the soldiers' belongings. Some had the hats, some had the shields, one had the sword, and they carried them. And I think the soldier told them to carry them to a certain point, probably a mile, like Sam said. And when they got there, Jesus instructed everyone to keep going.
Mm-hmm.
And it was really strange. Well, not strange, but it was interesting to observe the reactions of the soldiers. That was the key there because the soldiers, it was like they were doing it in a demeaning fashion. But
Mm.
once they had walked the mile, the soldiers were ready to take their
Take
things
this.
back.
Mm-hmm.
And Jesus instructed the disciples to keep going with the things. And it, like, the soldiers kind of like stopped and like, what's going on? Like, why are these people behaving this way? Because it was unexpected.
What did that sound like?
I just remember when we watched it, that gave me a lot of food for thought. I was like, wow, I was really that just really affected me.
How many people, the way you just said it, see, Jesus didn't just teach from from the book. He teached his life. Am I making sense there? Because that's when people really learn at the actual wisdom and everything. And this is the behavior of Jesus. And somebody said, that's something different that, he's different. And he said, what did he tell him when it came to Jesus? Get used to different. Remember that?
Hmm.
So when people look at this is what we're saying. What can you take from this particular chapter, apply it into your life? So we got a couple of minutes here. What can you take from this, Lynn, and apply it today that'll change your life?
It's like maybe being with a group of people, or I know, like when I was younger, um, I always had a group of friends that was like, "Oh, let's go to the club, let's go hang out and go dancing,
Mhm.
do all of this stuff." Not that any of those things are bad, but um, I would always say no. And then one time I did say yes, and I went, and and it was like harmless. It seemed like it was harmless, but then when we got there, all kind of crazy things jumped off. Somebody got hurt. I think we ended up running out of the club. Somebody was shooting. I was over there
Mhm.
and I was
Mhm.
in DC, and somebody started shooting, and I was like, oh no, I can't be like I shouldn't even be here. Like, and I was like, I gotta get away from here. And somebody died that night, not anyone that I knew, but it
Mhm.
was almost like I remember just saying in my head, like, you shouldn't even been there. You shouldn't have been there like that. And but I let the allure of, going, and it was almost like peer pressure because I was like, let me go this one time so they leave me alone.
Mhm.
And they think I'm at least halfway cool, and I was like, nope. And they asked me again. I was like, nope, that's not my thing. I'm not going. Y'all go and have a good time.
Wow. Mhm. Miss Ferguson,
Yes, sir.
what can you take from this chapter here we just read, and take it from this book? You didn't heard it, you didn't read it, but what would you take from this reading today that we went through in chapter 9 and apply it
That, th-
intentionally
that there are
to
always consequences to
oh
our
my God.
choices that we make.
Mm,
So we want to always make wise choices, decisions, because it's either going to lead to life or death,
mm.
destruction, if you choose, the wrong way to go in the direction that everyone else is going, if that choice is not a good one.
This or that. You can go
Hmm.
this or that. Okay, I like that. Go ahead, Sam. What can you take from it today, my brother? Chapter 9.
Doing the right thing is expected. Doing the righteous thing will always be surprising and a lot more difficult.
I like that. I like that. Excellent. Erica Jones, I seen you write something today. I was looking at it. I didn't read all of it, but Erica Jones, please come up. What will you take from this chapter today after hearing it and utilize it that it can help you in your life today? Miss Erica Jones, Debbie.
I would say I choose life
Mm,
because when you choose the way of wisdom,
mm-hmm.
you choose everything, peace of mind, you will live longer, you'll be able to manage your total life different. And I just think I choose life as
Very.
wisdom prevail. As wisdom speaks in your life, you know,
Mm. Lady
that's how
Payne,
I sum it up.
that's how you sum it up. I'm gonna get
Yes,
you in
I
a
choose life.
minute. Lady D, go ahead.
I would sum it up saying, don't entertain foolishness.
Oh. Sometimes you only gotta say a couple things and make it right. Choose life. That's up. At the end of the day, that's choose life, guys. Because you know what? If you choose it this way, first and foremost, it just makes it so as much as people think it's hard to live a good life, it's easy to live a good life. Read the instructions, understand, wake up on, like when you say you woke up on the wrong side of the bed. Most people that wake up on the wrong side of the bed never woke up and read their Bible first. Yes? Would y'all agree? Or most people that say they woke up on the wrong side of the bed today at work, they never read their Bible this morning. You never prayed this morning. You never seeked wisdom this morning. Just think. How many people say I am grateful today? Are you grateful today?
Yes, yes.
Can you be hateful too? The same time. You can't
Oh,
do it. It's
oh,
impossible.
yeah.
Look left. Can you look right at the same time? No,
No.
you can't do it.
Well, that's like smiling and frowning. You can't do
That's why,
both.
yeah, you can't do like, hold on, we
Mhm.
can do it. Let's try it. You can't do it. So I choose. Your life is your choice. Amen. Amen. All right. I'm gonna sum this whole thing up. And I am really thank you for joining us this morning. Proverbs reminds us of the power of choices. Power of choices. And when you say, "Oh, she make me sick," anybody ever said that before? Oh, that makes me sick. Has anybody ever said that before? We all say it. Guess what? That's your choice. You chose. I hate this. She did this. It did that. So isn't it easy to take responsibility when you have choices? One of the things that we've learned in this book, he says, learn to take choices, be responsible. And Miss Lovelace, come on up here, talk to me. And I asked you to come on this call for a reason. After you had talked, I called Miss Lovelace one day, we was talking on, she called me, and I told her what we was, what book we had started. And she was gotten so excited about that whole thing. Like when y'all seen Ree come in here, she was like really excited. Yesterday, she gave me a nice little compliment. She gave the class a good compliment of what took place yesterday. And Miss Lovelace, why don't you talk about why you get so excited about Proverbs? What is it about Proverbs that you've been down that road? This journey we get ready to take.
I have 4 kids, and when my kids were small, I felt that when I used to read Proverbs, that was a way of life. And I used to let my children read a Proverbs every day. And
Mm,
I used to tell them, like, that's life. If you look at the Proverbs, everything you need for life is in the Proverbs. And if you really, really follow the Proverbs, it's life. That's why I sum it up as life. And I used to tell my kids that every day. And I'm just excited that we could study it at a deeper depth. Maybe I'm not saying I did everything perfect with it, but I gather out how you should live your life and how you should go along life in the book of Proverbs. And that was the best wisdom I think as a mother I could have given to my children.
wow.
So I'm really excited that I could study it on a deeper level and get more insight about it with everyone.
Mm, mm. At the end of the day, based on the last book we read, it was called Rich Dad, Poor Dad. Rich Dad, Poor Dad. The thing that he kept saying is read, reread, right? Study it, then discuss it
Mm-hmm.
here. And then after that, literally, ladies and gentlemen, how many of us could share Proverbs 9 with someone today? This is what it's all about. Because I truly believe that if we start sharing this with one person, maybe you want to invite them to the class to study with you, this is how you build your own personal community. And this community, at the end of the day, with all of these people out here, just to think, imagine if we had them and listen to this to get a better understanding. How many people could get excited today? Are you excited, Lynn? I know I am. What about you? You excited, Miss Joyce?
Yes,
I'm
sir.
excited.
You
Hmm.
excited? Yeah.
And
Anybody else?
I'm
Go ahead.
excited to see the
Excited.
excitement in the room.
Oh my God. That's a
As
beautiful.
knowledge, as wisdom speaks.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna challenge everyone to take a few minutes today to reflect on an area of their life where they need wisdom. Period. Amen.
Amen.
All right. So Hey, Miss Lovelace, I want to share something with you guys. Are y'all ready? Say
Yeah,
you ready.
I'm ready.
All right. Yes. Y'all listen up, but this is wisdom on the mind. Proverbs chapter 7, shining like a light. Guard your heart, stay sharp, don't fold. These lessons timeless, more precious than gold. Walking down the street, temptation calls your name. Smooth talk, sweet words, trying to play the game. But wisdom said, stop, think before you act. It's a trap for your soul, time to step back. Obey the commands, let them guide your way. Guard your heart like a treasure every single day. Tie them to your fingers, catch them in your mind. Keep that vision clear, life behind. Guard your heart, don't let it stray. Follow wisdom, let it lead your way. Keep it close like a shield in the fight. Proverbs drops gems, shining so the temptress whispers her words like honey, but that sweet talk's fake. It's not worth the money. She'll lead you to a place where darkness reigns, but wisdom breaks chains. It's the ultimate guarantee. No it's lost, no wisdom inside. Caught up in the mud, to the fight, but you're different, strong with the truth. Guard your heart now. It's the key to your youth. With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, I love you all. Thank you for coming in and listening to what we do here every morning, LCA, when we deal with we all are on our personal growth journey, and we can't say it enough. We love you. God bless you. God keep you, and take care of yourself, because if you don't, somebody else is going to try to, and you will like it.